If you have a narcissistic mother, you are learning the many ways she affects your life. A mother is supposed to be a nurturing presence in her child's life, but the narcissistic mother is anything but nurturing. The effects of a narcissistic mother's abuse on her children are often lifelong, and they are extremely damaging. I know only too well the effects of a mother's narcissistic abuse. My mother is a narcissist, and when I discovered that she was the one who was ill, not me, it was like a bomb had exploded inside of me. I literally felt sick to my stomach. Until then, I had thought I had to be flawed because I could never please her. When I learned she was ill, not me, I was flooded with a whole new mix of emotions that included grief and rage. So much rage. As I began to explore the many ways a narcissistic mother destroys her own children, I gained a whole new level of understanding of my own mother's abuse. That's why it's important for you to understand these 10 ways your narcissistic mother will destroy you. Devaluation. Like all relationships with a narcissist, the relationship between a narcissistic mother and her child progresses through stages. The first stage usually happens before you're really aware of it. It's the idealization stage, and it's when your mother will proudly brag about her superior child. It's not uncommon for narcissistic parents to tell other people their children are perfect. After all, they are their children. This often happens when you're young and haven't yet gained the awareness you need to truly displease her. As you grow and start to develop your own personality, then your mother starts to have unrealistic expectations of you. She sees you as an extension of her own identity, and as such, you are not allowed to have your own personality. You exist to please her and to validate her. That's why all the victims of narcissists exist. As you continue to become your own self, you can't help but disappoint your narcissistic mother. It's impossible for anyone to fulfill the expectations a narcissist has for them. Invalidation. Another way a narcissistic mother damages her children is by constantly invalidating their emotions and thoughts. Because she expects you to be an extension of her identity, your job is to reflect her perfection. If you do anything less than that, or if you dare to have your own thoughts and opinions, she dismisses them as invalid. She does the same thing with any emotions you might have. This is in stark contrast to how she expects you to respond to her thoughts, opinions, and emotions. She considers herself perfect and important. You are little more than a product of that perfection. You're supposed to be grateful to her for giving you life, and you're supposed to then dedicate your life to her. You must hold her up as the superior example of humanity she is, while staying out of the limelight yourself. Insidious triangulation. Triangulation is one of the most insidious manipulation tactics a narcissist uses against their own family. It undermines any close familial relationships a child might otherwise develop, which can hamper their emotional growth for the rest of their life. Triangulation is pitting one side against the other. It's when a narcissist tells one thing to one person and something contrary to another person. They do it to manipulate both into aligning with the narcissist, while mistrusting the other person in the triangle. Narcissistic parents do this to their own children, and between a child and the other parent. It undermines the confidence both have in their family members. It leaves each feeling isolated, abandoned, and betrayed. It can damage your relationships for the rest of your life as it leaves you constantly questioning the motives of people close to you. It's a horrible tactic your narcissistic mother will use often to keep members of her family from joining together to defend against her emotional abuse. Shame, shame, shame. Shame is one of the most devastating and useless emotions there are. It's useless because it leaves you no recourse to resolve a problem. It just leaves you feeling bad about yourself. It's devastating because the resulting damage to your self-esteem can leave you emotionally crippled for the rest of your life. Shame is at the root of many dysfunctional family interactions. A narcissistic mother uses it frequently to manipulate her children into doing what she wants and expects. Even when they do, she will use it to keep them feeling like they owe her or need her. She has no empathy, and for that reason, she can't understand the damage she is doing to her own children. She doesn't realize that filling them with shame can damage their self-esteem for the rest of their life. Blame, blame, blame. Narcissists are incapable of taking responsibility for their actions. They can't admit they made a mistake, let alone apologize for it. The only time a narcissist apologizes is when they believe it will get them what they want. Because their fragile and false self-image won't let them admit having made a mistake, the narcissist will shift the blame from themselves to anyone around, including their own children. A narcissistic mother easily blames her children for anything she might have done wrong. She doesn't think about the damage it might do to them, nor does she really care. She is completely self-absorbed. Think like me. Another way a narcissistic mother damages her children is by never letting them think for themselves. She doesn't allow divergent opinions in her household. Everything you think needs to align perfectly with what she thinks. You are, after all, a reflection of her perfection. If you have your own ideas about something and they are different from hers, that is an indicator she is not the all-knowing, perfect, and superior being she has told everyone she is. That's why she will devalue anything you say that is different from her own ideas. You must think like her because you are a part of her. In her mind, you should want this because she is perfect. Dr. Perfect and Ms. Anthrope. A narcissistic mother is like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, although we'll call her Dr. Perfect and Ms. Anthrope. She presents a perfect image to the world and often strives to do good for everyone around her. Everyone, that is, except for her own family. For them, she is Ms. Anthrope, that is, misanthropic, or someone who hates other people. She terrorizes her own family as she strives to protect her perfect image. To the world around her, she is sweet, giving, and seems like such a great person, and an even better mother. To her family, she is nothing short of monstrous. She makes constant demands, criticizes them harshly, and belittles them mercilessly in front of their friends. It's a nightmare to grow up with, I can assure you. No-fault mom. The children of a narcissistic mother can never expect an apology from her. If she does apologize, it's only to get something she wants. As mentioned previously, narcissists can't accept responsibility for any mistakes they make. Their fragile, false self-image would collapse if they actually did admit to making a mistake. They fear that doing so would reveal their truly flawed self. That's why they feel threatened any time you confront them. They suffer what is called a narcissistic injury because of the fear their imperfect true nature will be exposed. Love is conditional. Another sad way that narcissistic mothers destroy you is that they teach you that love is conditional. A mother's love is supposed to be unconditional, but a narcissist's love is not. It is conditioned on how you behave. If you don't do exactly what your narcissistic mother wants, she withdraws her warmth and affection. This is because narcissists think in binary terms. That means they think in terms of black and white. There are no shades of gray. They also lack object constancy. That means that they can't hold a positive thought about someone when they're angry at that person. A healthy mother can be upset with her child, but still knows that her child is a good person and that she loves them. A narcissistic mother can't do that. If she is angry at you, there is nothing good about you, and she can't feel affectionate emotions for you. This video offers more explanations about whether or not a narcissistic mother even realizes she is hurting you. Rage on. Finally, a narcissistic mother destroys you with her narcissistic rage. She will humiliate you, demean you, and make you feel generally unsafe. A narcissist's rage is a sudden, explosive outburst of anger designed to distract and prevent you from ever standing up to them again. It's fearsome to witness, and often it's very effective. You're so frightened by those sudden outbursts that you find yourself walking on eggshells around your mother all the time. Because she rarely gives you any privacy, you spend the majority of your life living with anxiety and fear. It's no way for any child to grow up. It doesn't help to build a confident, proactive adult. Rather, you become frightened of your own shadow. It's a terrible way for a mother to behave, and it's a large part of why many people opt to go no contact with their mother when they reach adulthood. Finally, a narcissistic mother has many tools she uses to completely destroy you. She doesn't want you to be an independent, healthy adult. She wants you to need her and to stay around and give her a constant supply of adoration that she so desperately needs. Perhaps the worst thing she does to her own children is to use their emotions against them. She knows all about you since she doesn't permit you to have any personal boundaries, and she is particularly effective at triggering emotional wounds. I had my mother in mind when I created my 5-step roadmap to heal emotional triggers. I was thinking of how she used the very emotional wounds she created to trigger me, so she could manipulate me when I created this handy guide. The steps I outline in this free roadmap are what I used to identify, diffuse, and heal those emotional triggers. They helped me, and I want to share them with you so they can help you too. Just click on the link below the video and I'll send a copy directly to your inbox. Thanks for watching.